பண்ணிட்டேடா.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gauri, is my voice clear?
Yeah, your voice is clear. No problem.
Sorry, good evening.
Uday sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Let us welcome Venkatramani, our speaker.
நமஸ்காரம் சார்.
வந்துட்டார். முதல்ல வந்துட்டு இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டார்.
Welcome. Yes,
மைக் அவரது கொஞ்சம் இதா டிஸ்டர்பன்ஸ் ஆகுது.
மைக் டிஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது.
He is our speaker.
Hey, Sundaram.
Unmuted. He is good.
கரெக்ட். எப்படி இருக்க?
வந்துட்டியா?
இருக்கேன்.
இப்ப பாத்துட்டேன். சூப்பரா இருக்கு.
ரவி, வணக்கம் ரவி.
பக்கத்துல பிவிஎஸ் ஏதோ போன் பேசிட்டே இருக்காரு. பிவிஎஸ். வணக்கம்ண்ணா. பிவிஎஸ்.
சார், உதயசங்கர் சார் இருக்காரு. சார் வணக்கம் சார்.
வணக்கம் வணக்கம் வணக்கம்ப்பா. வணக்கம் எவரிபடி.
என்னங்க உதய்?
குட் ஈவினிங். குட் ஈவினிங். ஹலோ.
Hello.
எம்எஸ்எஸ் சார், வணக்கம் சார்.
வணக்கம் சேகர். வணக்கம் வணக்கம். How are you?
ஃபைன் ஃபைன். செல்வம் வணக்கம்.
குட் ஈவினிங் சேகர்.
வணக்கம் 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 வணக்கம். சரி
சார், குட் ஈவினிங்.
எம்எஸ்எஸ்
என்ன பண்ணிட்ட?
Hi. How are you?
Fine.
கேவியர் வணக்கம்.
Lot of vibrance is there. I am happy to see all of you. Lot of vibrance.
If all the mics are on, there will be a lot of
Disturbance. Correct.
கொஞ்ச நேரத்துல எல்லாம் மூட் ஆயிரும்.
ஆமா.
வணக்கம் சேகர்.
சார்
கொஞ்சம் மேல வாங்க.
சார் ஃபைன் சார் ஃபைன்.
Hi சேகர்.
ஃபைன் சார். ஹலோ.
ஹலோ சேகர்.
சார் குட் ஈவினிங்.
சேகர், how are you?
ஃபைன் சார். சார்
Hello Rajagopal sir.
பாத்தீங்களா ராஜகோபால்?
Yes.
Hello Rajagopal sir. MSS here.
கொஞ்சம் லைட் போடுங்க.
குட் ஈவினிங்.
கேவிஎன் சார் குட் ஈவினிங்.
வெரி குட் ஈவினிங் சுந்தரம்.
கேவியன் குட் ஈவினிங். சேகர்
வணக்கம்பா. எப்படி இருக்க?
குட் ஈவினிங் சார். நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா சார்?
பாலச்சந்திரன் சார் குட் ஈவினிங்.
குட் ஈவினிங் சார், ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ.
பாலச்சந்திரன் சார் காலை கேக்குதா? போனை மியூட் பண்ணிருக்காரு.
பாஸ்.
He is our host.
இதுதான் ராகவன்.
தேவதாஸ் சார்
Credentials to us.
ராகவன்ஜி நமஸ்காரம்.
ராகவன் சார் நமஸ்காரம்.
ராகவன் சார்.
நமஸ்காரம் ராகவன். நமஸ்காரம்.
I'll put cancel spotlight so that you don't have to see me. Sir, நான் வந்து வெங்கட்ரமணி சார். I made you co-host so you can share. You have all the rights like us, so you can take.
No. What I suggest is, my humble submission would be, I would like to present the program. You can control this thing.
Yes. No problem, sir. We will take care of that.
Yeah.
ஆர்வம். கொஞ்சம் சூடா இருக்கு ஸ்கிரீன். ஹீட் பண்ணலையா?
ட்ரீட்மெண்டா? கரெக்ட்டா ஆன் ஆயிடுச்சு.
Hi ஆறுமுகம். How are you?
கரெக்ட்டா ஆர்டரா இருக்கா? ஆர்டரா.
ஆறுமுகம் critical shortage அப்படியே உருவி கொடு.
ஆம் சார், ஃபுல்லா கரெக்ட்டா அனுப்பிச்சியா?
கௌரி சார், வேற யாரா ஹோஸ்ட் பண்ணுமா?
செல்வம்
கேவி நிர்வாகன் ஹோஸ்ட் பண்ணு.
39 வந்திருக்கு கௌரி. 39 வந்திருக்கு.
40.
ஓகே.
உங்க பிதாமகர் காரணம் என்ன?
கேடிஆர் தேவதாஸ்.
Hi தேவதாஸ்.
வணக்கம்.
Devdas, how are you?
Fine sir. Fine. Good evening Devdas. Good evening.
Hello sir. How are you, Ravi?
Fine. How are you, sir?
Hi Ravi.
Hello, Ravi.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, Sridhar. How are you?
Hi, Sridhar. Hi, Sridhar. How do you know?
Hi, Kelly.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello, Selvam.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, pa. Good evening.
வணக்கம்.
தானம்.
சந்தானம் வணக்கம்.
சந்தானம், குட் ஈவினிங்.
மனோகர் சார் என்ன
மனோகர்.
ஹலோ
மனோகர் சார் வணக்கம்.
Fine.
எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் பவர் ஃபெயிலியர்
எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் மனோகர்.
சந்தானம். சந்தானம் எப்படி இருக்க?
ஓகே.
சூரி எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? சூரி
ஃபைன் நல்லா இருக்கேன்.
வெரி குட்.
ஓகே ஐ வில் டெல் யூ.
வணக்கம்.
ரவி.
ஏய் சுந்தரம்.
வருதாப்பா? செல்வா கடுப்பா இருப்பா.
நாகராஜன் பேசுறேன். சூரி எப்படி இருக்க?
நல்லா இருக்கேன் சார். உங்க போட்டோ வரலையே.
வரலையா? தெரியல. நீ தெரியற.
நீங்க தெரிய மாட்டேங்கிறீங்களே.
தெரியலையா?
வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணுங்க.
வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கேன் நான். எனக்கு தெரியுது. இங்க உங்க பேசுன்னு தெரியுது, என்னோட பேசுன்னு தெரியுது.
இருங்க அப்ப மூவ் பண்ணோம் போ. ஓகே.
தெரியுதுனா?
ஓகே.
வெரி குட். எக்ஸலென்ட்.
ஹாய் நாகராஜ்.
ஹாய்.
எஸ் சார். குட் ஈவினிங்.
குட் ஈவினிங் சார்.
குட் ஈவினிங் சார்.
கேவிஎன் சார் வணக்கம்.
Good evening, KVN, sir.
கேவிஎன் சார் குட் ஈவினிங்.
Good evening, Kevin.
Just give him a few seconds. Yes, unmute, sir. KVN, sir, you are the co-host. So whatever you want to present, you can handle the entire meeting yourself.
Oh, thank you. Welcome all of you.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Natarajan.
Very good evening.
Good evening, sir.
அந்த பசங்க லேப்டாப்ல பார்க்க முடியுமா? லேப்டாப்ல
ரவிச்சந்திரன். வணக்கம் சார்.
Sundarajan, good evening.
வணக்கம். குட் ஈவினிங். How are you?
Fine.
அதுல வந்து எனக்கு இல்லையா? லேப்டாப்ல பெருசா இருக்குமான்னு பாக்குறேன். அது வருமா? ஜூம் இருக்கும் அதுல.
Good evening, sir. BMS, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Natarajan.
வீடியோ இருக்கு.
Somebody please switch off your TV.
உனக்கே தெரியாதுனாக்கா
ஸ்டார்ட் வீடியோ இருக்கு. அது முன்ன வரீங்க.
பின்னாடி பேக்ரவுண்ட்
அந்த ஜூம் வச்சிருக்கீங்களா? நீங்க ஜூம் ஆப்
தெரியல.
நான் அந்த நம்பர் சொல்றேன், அதை நோட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. 811.
நான் இத காமிக்கட்டுமா உங்களுக்கு இப்ப அத படத்தை?
Hi, KVN. Good evening.
நம்பர் இன்னும் எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? 8105 2361. Somebody is watching TV. பாஸ்வேர்ட் வந்து ரியல், ரியல் வந்து ஸ்மால் லெட்டர்ஸ். இல்ல இந்த ஜூம்ல போட்டீங்கல்ல, ஜூம் இல்லையா? நீங்க ஜூம் பிரஸ் பண்ணிட்டு ஜூம்ல போயிட்டு ஜாயின் மீட்டிங் வரும். மீட்டிங் ஐடி கேட்கும், அந்த நம்பர் போடுங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் பாஸ்வேர்ட் கேட்கும், ரியல் போடுங்க.
கிளிக் பண்ணா ஸ்டாப் வீடியோன்னு காமிக்கும்.
8105
ஸ்டாப் வீடியோன்னு காமிக்கும். இப்ப வந்துடுது. நான் வந்துடுது.
2361. அதுக்கப்புறம்
குட் ஈவினிங்.
குட் ஈவினிங் சார். பாஸ்வேர்ட் வந்து ரியல்.
ரைட்.
How are you?
Fine, BMS.
How are you?
6161 2361.
Fine.
KVN sir, I'm going to mute all others. Except
இப்ப
Gauri
ஸ்டார்ட்
sir,
பண்ணியாச்சு, நீங்க
co-host,
ஜாயின் பண்ணலாம்.
so that you will you'll have
You can
be able
join
to
now.
listen to others. Is that okay?
Okay,
Yeah, who is the host here? Who will be controlling everything?
This is Raghavan from NIQR. I will take care.
Okay.
Okay.
I am there. So I am going to mute everyone except the co-hosts who can unmute themselves.
Please.
Once Gauri sir says yes, we will start the meeting.
Okay.
Somebody is watching TV. Please
So-
ask him to switch off the TV.
Sir, those who have background noise, please cut out the background noise because it will disturb the entire meeting. My request, those who have background noise, to switch off the.
நம்ம வந்து ஒரு கேட்டாக்கா அதுக்கு பதில் கிடையாது.
Sir, good evening.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hey, whoever is recording, I think they will send the recorded thing afterwards, no, to the mail.
Who wants a recording? Please raise your hand. I can allow you to record if you want. If Gauri sir and the host allows.
Sir, வணக்கம். இது வரைக்கும் எவ்வளவு பேர் கனெக்ட் ஆயிருக்காங்க சார்?
61 sir. 61.
All the Ashokela plants, and yet remarkably, sufficient streamlining of assembly, Ennore has the capacity to produce up to about 120 vehicles a day. A class engine assembly is capable of
Dulciram.
and marine engines.
7 வரைக்கும் இருப்பாராம். 7 இருப்பாராம். 7 வரைக்கும் அங்க. Duty.
Every engine produced is scrutinized.
இல்ல அங்க போய் தான் சொல்லணும். பீஸ் நாமினல் பீஸ் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டேன். இண்டிகேட் பண்றேன்.
Manufacturing with many critical components.
இது அக்ரிமெண்ட்ல கூட நீ கை வாங்கிடலாம் கையோட. சரி. ஓகே. போட்டோ இல்லைன்னா கூட நீங்க அவர் போட்டோ எல்லாமே எடுத்துக்கலாம். இல்லாட்டி அங்கேயே ஒரு போட்டோ எடுத்துக்கலாம் அவ்வளவுதான். ஆமா. ஸ்பெஷலான ஸ்டுடியோ போய் தான் மண்டேக்கு மேல தான் போய் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருந்தாரு. அதனால
Designers to say what will work and what will not work. I think that adds a lot of maturity to the design releases as a message.
இல்ல அதாவது நீங்க போட்டிங்களா ஜூம்ல போயிட்டு 811 ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க சார், நான் செக் பண்ணிட்டு வந்துடுறேன்.
People with experience and jobs are upgraded and much newer.
Hello.
The Ennore plant continues to preserve its legacy.
Hello.
Hello.
சொல்லுங்க சார். அந்த நம்பர் போட்டிங்களா? 811 சார். இல்ல அதாவது நீங்க ஜூம் போனீங்களா? நீங்க அப்ப ஆஃப் பண்ணி ஆன் பண்ணி பாருங்க மொபைல.
And we will also be going towards the electricity.
இல்ல 8105 சார். அதாவது நம்ம ரியல் மெசேஜ் இருக்கும் பாருங்க, அந்த ரியல் இருக்கும். நீங்க அந்த ரியல் லிங்க்ல வந்தீங்கனால வந்துடலாம். ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க, நான் நம்பர் பார்த்துட்டு நான் உங்களுக்கு நம்பர் தனியா உங்களுக்கு அனுப்புறேன், மெசேஜ் அனுப்புறேன்.
Hopefully, we'll be starting at 6. TMR is there?
சார் வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம். Good evening, my dear Leylanders. Welcome to this 9th get-together of Reals. It is my great privilege to welcome all Leylanders to this grand meet. Let us pray to the Almighty to bless us for smooth conducting of this meeting. Mr. TMR, please. TMR?
Sorry sir, TMR na பேர் எடுத்து அவர் co-host பண்ணிடுவோம்.
மாந்தரின் குறை நீங்க கோருவோம், மாந்தரின் குறை நீங்க கோருவோம், மயக்கங்கள் நீங்கி மகிழ்ச்சி நிறைந்திட, மயக்கங்கள் நீங்கி மகிழ்ச்சி நிறைந்திட, நலமும் வளமும் பல்கி பெருகிட, நலமும் வளமும் பல்கி பெருகிட, நாயகன் அருள் வேண்டி நாம் கூடுவோம், நாயகன் அருள் வேண்டி நாம் கூடுவோம், கணநாதன் கடலடியை போற்றுவோம், அவன் கருணை கண் பார்க்க வேண்டுவோம், கணநாதன் கடலடியை போற்றுவோம். வணக்கம். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்காக அடியேன் எழுதிய பாடல்.
Thank you, TMR, for your sweet invocation. Friends, as you all know,
Thank you.
Friends, as you all know, the real get-together is for meeting all our colleagues once in 6 months. This is a platform for exchanging pleasantries and sharing our personal experiences, happy moments, achievements, and learnings after leaving Ashok Leyland. Real WhatsApp group was started by Mr. K. Tyagarajan, whom we call fondly as KTR, in the year 2015. And it has grown by leaps and bounds. The first get-together was organized by a group of Leylanders, I think 8 people, seniors, and now it has become a biennial one. Mr. Shekhar of ex-PPC has been greatly supporting us for the last 4-5 meetings. This year, due to the lockdown induced by COVID, we are having this virtual meet. Hope next year we will meet physically on February 14th, 2021. As this is our first virtual meet, we have organized some speeches. One by Mr. K.V. Narayan, our plant head, and Mr. V.K. Venkatramani, my colleague in NHR, and Mr. R. Sheshai, whom nobody wants to get introduced. Please bear with us any shortcomings as this is our first attempt. Now let me have the pleasure of introducing the first speaker, Mr. KVN. Mr. K.V. Natarajan graduated from BITS Pilani, did postgraduate in Manufacturing Excellence at IIT Bombay and a management course with IIM Ahmedabad. He has a vast experience of 35 years at Ashok Leyland. As a manufacturing expert, he has established the engine transmission and various automotive projects. Spearheaded Hino, Iveco and Nissan projects implementation at Ashok Leyland, and Nissan contemporary practices were established at Ashok Leyland. One of the founding members of Mission Gamba initiative, played a key role in transforming people. Played a significant role at Ashok Leyland Hosur 2 plant units in their TQM journey. He retired recently after having headed Ashok Leyland Ennur plant operations. He was pivotal in driving Ennur unit towards MD's vision of good to great company, leveraging TPM. Passionately interested in green initiatives, I was fortunate to visit the thick wall-like dense forest in Eastland of Ashok Leyland Ennur in February. Over to Mr. Kevian.
Good evening, all of you. I will just make my presentation in two parts. The part one will be a heads up on what's happening in Ennur as of now, and part two will be of the Miyawaki forest. So I will share my presentation now. I hope all of you can see the presentation.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So with regard to the Go Green initiative, I will just explain many of the things which have happened in Ennur pictorially so that all of you can understand very easily. Some of the significant things, I'm just taking my pointer, you can see there in the screen, developing herbal garden and developing dense forest and developing new garden concepts are the significant things. Some more additional things which we started in Ennur is developing a fruit garden, developing a greenhouse for the for a nursery plant development inside the plant itself, and rainwater harvesting system inside the plant. This is the picture where you can see Mr. Harihar was planting the tree number 8,000. In a year, we decided we should plant around 10,000 trees in the year 2017. Before that, we had in total 3,000 trees in the plant. So from 3,000 total, we wanted to increase by another 10,000 within a year. This is the first time we wanted to do that. So we started and we were progressing well. When we reached the 8,000 figure, Mr. Harihar came inside and he planted the tree number 8,000 in the plant. So to keep up the tempo of planting the trees, on that particular year, we planted 10,000 trees. So I'm moving to the next slide. Here you can see the enthusiasm from all the associates who are working in the Ennur plant. To the top right, you can find one person planting the sapling along with his wife, where he said, "Sir, I'm going to retire in next 3 months. Tell me what I have to do. I want to leave something for the Ashok Leyland even after my retirement." I said, "Can you plant 300 trees in 3 months before you retire?" And he said, "Yes, I can do it. Give me the sapling, show me the location. I will go ahead and plant it." So this is the tree number, sapling number 300. He is planting it on the day of his retirement. So there were many other associates who took part in the tree plantation campaign. And this was taken off like a movement inside the Ennur plant. Just to give you some example, how we moved forward, you can see the tempo, you can see the slope of the graph. This graph starts from the Jan 2019 to around March 2020. You can see the continuous momentum from 31,000 tree sapling, it moved to 38,000 tree sapling. So there is a continuous momentum all through the months, and it never fell down in any month. It also says as of now we have 38,000 trees. In the next slide, we wanted to show you about the organic vegetables which have been planted in the, harvested in the Ennur plant. We had some amount of land across the wall side, and we decided, okay, let us do some vegetable harvesting in those areas, both in the Eastland, mainland, and in the Westland. In the mainland, we had an LPG yard where we decommissioned the LPG cylinder, and in that area we decided to go for the vegetable plantation. You can see the various vegetables, and I never thought radish will grow in the seashore area. Normally it grows in areas where it has some altitude around 500 feet and above, but this is the first time we have been harvesting radish in Ennore, and approximately around 900 kilos of vegetables are being harvested every month and given to the canteen. So the executives and the associates inside the Ashok Leyland Ennore plant are enjoying the organic vegetables every day in the lunch. This is the picture of some of the organic vegetables, and the biggest success you can see in the bottom left, second one from the bottom left, it is the cauliflower. We never thought cauliflower will grow in the Ennore plant. We call it growing cauliflower without pesticide is a real big magic. And in Ennore, we never used any pesticides, and we were able to harvest cauliflower, and it was used in the canteen. So this was a very big success. Normally, cauliflower goes in an area where the altitude is about 1,000 meters and high. This is other pictures about the vegetable harvesting. You can see the brinjal, you can see the bottle gourd, chilies, and the cauliflower in the Westland. The other garden concept is about the herbal garden. We developed 2 herbal gardens. One is adjacent to the project planning in the Eastland, and the other one is adjacent to the tool warehouse in the mainland, where we planted many saplings, starting from the aloe vera, starting from the adathodai, karisilankanni. Around 24 varieties have been planted. And in the next slide, in the bottom right hand side, you can see the board which also shows about the benefits of the each and every plant which has been planted in the herbal garden. So this is just to create an awareness about the benefits of the herbs, and this can be grown at the house itself so that they can have some home remedies at their houses. Now I'm moving to the fruit garden. The next slide. This is not strawberry, this is cherries. You can see cherries blooming in the Westland, and this has come out very successfully. We also have grapes, we have water apple, and we have many fruits in the jamun, which is blackberry. The next slide, there's a picture about the pomegranates, guava. In the next slide, I hope all of you can see it. We developed a nursery, a greenhouse, where we wanted to develop our own saplings for our own consumption, as well as for giving it to the local society, giving it to the schools, and giving to the people who are in need. So we started developing saplings at the rate of 100 saplings every day. So this area was running something like a production center where we generate with our own seeds. We generated around 100 saplings every day, and we started giving it to the people who are in need. This is another picture of the same greenhouse nursery. We developed the ornamental plants. We developed the jamun plants. Jamun is blackberry, badam plants. So, and in addition to that, in the next slide, you can see the oxygen corner. Oxygen corner is through the experts, we were able to get some views about how to develop an oxygen corner. This is the area where the trees will generate more oxygen, or the small shrubs and the plants will generate more oxygen, so that if you go and stand there for some time, you get rejuvenated. In the next picture, you will see the areca palm. You can see the aloe vera plants and the snake plants. So this area will generate good amount of oxygen. So some amount, if you want to go and stand there for some time, you will feel rejuvenated. This is another concept where we wanted to bring in more saplings inside the building so that people feel better. You can see the palm saplings inside the toilets, where overhead in the above roof there is a big hole for the trees to get the sunlight. And this is adjacent, this toilet is adjacent to the main canteen, where people, while they enter inside, they can go inside and see. And this is created to a new benchmark levels. And when we wanted to do something extra, we were brainstorming on what we need to do next. So we thought, why don't we develop a butterfly garden? So in the Westland, adjacent to the ETP area, we developed a butterfly garden. Again, we consulted the experts on how to develop a butterfly garden. So we got various views on what are the various plants, various flowers which needs to be developed in that area. So with their views, we developed this butterfly garden. In the next picture, you can see the various butterflies in that butterfly garden area. Now in this picture, the next slide, you can see the various, because we generated the good amount of trees, we developed the butterfly garden, the herbal plantations, and the egrets, the stork, everything started coming. So more and more insects, the habitat was developed. And instead of keeping earlier, I used to remember we used to keep the dolls of these stalks and egrets inside the plant. Now the real egrets are coming inside. So this is a good sign. They come inside. They are not afraid of the people. They stay there, and we feel comfortable to work in that area. You can also see the varieties of the brinjal which has grown in different gardens inside the plant. The next slide is about the rainwater harvesting. Just to give you a heads up on what is happening, the recent rainwater harvesting in the project planning building, whatever rainwater falls on the roof gets filtered, gets collected on the sump, then it is reused for the project planning toilets area. Similarly in the shop 3 and similarly in the admin building. So you can see the total capacity that has been developed is 9,000 kiloliters of rainwater harvesting capacity that we have developed in the Ennore. And during the last year, out of that capacity of 9,000 kiloliters, 6,822 kiloliters was used. So when we get good rains, we can use up to 9,000 kiloliters. So there is one more thing. We have developed a pond in the Westland, in the northern northwest area of the Westland, which was the lowest area. So any rain, the rainwater that gets collected in the Westland comes to the lowermost area in the Westland where we have. So I will take you to the next slide. This is another picture of the pond where you can see water getting stored up in the pond. As of now, the pond is not a concreted bottom pond. The bottom of the pond is only sand, and the nearby area, water level in the nearby area gets filled up quickly. So we were monitoring the level of water for around 1 year over 4 seasons. It was continuously available in the pond. It was not depleting so fast. So this is a very sustainable rainwater harvesting pond. This is the full picture of the pond. We also planted the flower-bearing plants alongside the boundaries of the pond. So you can see the greenery that has been developed alongside the pond. So water, when it gets filled up, it will get stored up to 32 lakh liters. So we wanted to take the dense forest concept to the nearby schools and nearby surrounding areas. So the Hinduja school is in the Tiruvatiyur, where we started planting 250 tree saplings inside the school. So over a period of time, that will become a very dense area, and the oxygen generated in that school, that area will be very high. It will be 30 times more than the conventional tree plantations. This again in the government schools in the Burma Nagar area where the tree plantation have happened. This we have tested for the first time because we want to understand how government school children or the government school administration maintains the saplings and monitors it over a period of time. So this is the nearby society in the Ernaur. They approached us seeing our tree plantation. We gave them 200 steel guards. We gave them trees to plant it alongside the roads. So they did every work. We gave the saplings. It was inaugurated, and it is going on very well now. This has an age of around 2 years. The next concept is about the vertical garden concept, where the vertical garden was developed in areas where the area is full of concrete. So to bring greenery in the area where it is full of concrete, we started this concept of the vertical garden. This is the main gate area in the picture, what you're seeing now. Now in the next picture, there's the new canteen which was developed in the pilot production area in the Eastland, where we decided when we build this canteen, it should have good amount of light, it should have good amount of ventilation, and it should have good amount of ambience. So for light, we set up the sufficient windows, glass doors, and many other things. For ventilation, sufficient openings. And we also have a low speed, high volume fan, which you can see on the top of the ceiling. And for the ambience, we set up the vertical gardens inside the canteen. I will show you some more pictures about this in the next slides. So this is a close-up view of the vertical garden. So this is inside the canteen. And this is being continuously monitored, watered, maintained by our own plant engineering department. This is very successful, very much appreciated by everyone. Now this canteen is something like a world-class canteen. This vertical garden in the next slide is developed outside the A stores in the mainland on the walls. So you can see the colorful shrubs on the wall side in the vertical garden. For the last 2 years, this has been successfully maintained well. And that area looks very beautiful now. The fires in that area looks very beautiful now. There's another area near the main gate. This towards the canteen side. When you enter in and turn to the left in the main gate, you can see this. We have started this only initial stage. Maybe after another 6-7 months, you will feel full area will be full wall will be green color with a lot of the creepers. This is the vertical garden in the admin block. On the below the board, you can see the vertical garden. The whole area is full of greenery. Now I will take you to the next presentation about the Miyawaki forest. I hope all of you can see this now. Yeah. So Miyawaki is a botanist and he has a doctorate with him. He is from Japan and his concept is entirely different. Normally a tree grows around 25 feet tall and on the top of the tree you will have a canopy. Below the tree there will be a lot of vacant spaces. So he thought in a different way and he said, why don't we use the space below the tree for another variety of the tree which can grow well. So you can see the right side diagram where the tree that goes taller is planted alongside the tree which goes halfway to its height, and alongside to it we will have shrubs. So you will have the full area with greenery. I will take you to some more slides. This is a picture. This is how it will look like. At every height you will have the canopy of different trees so that the whole forest is dense. This is the basic concept of this dense forest developed by Miyawaki. I will take you through some more slides. We will have a lot of information. I will not overload you with information, whereas you can see it on the screen. Those who want more details to develop such forests in your apartment area, in your schools, in the colleges, in your residential area, you feel free to contact our plant engineering, me or anyone in Ennore. We will give you all support, give you all technical information on how to develop a dense forest. I will take you through the presentation so that you can understand more about the dense forest concept. So this is another picture where we identify the field, prepare the field, dig the field to around 3 feet depth, then mix the field with the agricultural manure, then with the cocoa peat. Cocoa peat is nothing but tenganar in Tamil. I will explain you in detail in the subsequent slides. So this is how it grows over a period of around 2 years, 25 years and 100 years. So he is Dr. Miyawaki from Japan, and he found out how to develop dense forests 30 times denser from the current method of forestry. So I am now taking you to the next slide. The current method is planting 1 tree per 10 square meter. In Miyawaki forest, planting 30 trees per 10 square meter to different height, trees which will grow to different height. So it is 30 times more. And the biggest advantage is you get 30 times more oxygen. It is very denser. And every tree has to be of different species. Some amount of brain work needs to go inside this. We can identify the native species in the local area. We can also identify what are the different heights it will grow at a matured level. And accordingly, we can do the planting of the trees. This forest needs to be maintained for 2 years. So wherein we need to set up a drip irrigation and we have to do the de-weeding. And after 2 years, this becomes totally self-sustaining. So it will grow by itself. No support is required beyond 2 years. Now I will explain in detail here where first the soil survey is done to find out whether it is acidic or how the soil is and what sort of tree saplings can be planted there. Then the next step is to identify the native trees so that it sustains all adverse climates. And the third one is either prepare the sapling or procure the sapling from outside. And the fourth one is we need to dig the identified area to 3 feet depth, mix it with the agricultural manure, then plant the saplings and maintain it through drip irrigation method, monitor the growth. Here we don't use any fertilizer or we don't use any pesticides. This is just to give you an idea. I am now showing the table, what are the items that have been used in the dense forest concept. Husk, rice husk is used, paddy husk, that is mixed with the soil while planting the saplings. Peat is nothing but the cocoa peat, and cocoa peat is nothing but tenganar. And manure is agricultural manure, and Panchagavya, all of you know, and mulch is the old leaves of the existing trees. So we need to put it along with the sand, soil and mix it fully, then do the sapling plantation. So this is paddy husk. In the next slide, it is powdered paddy husk. Next one is cocoa peat. In the next slide. And the third one is farmyard manure. Cow's manure and goat manure, everything is mixed together before planting, watered, and the later on the planting of sapling is done. After the planting is completed, the paddy straw is put over the surface of the soil. This is to retain the moisture in the soil and to avoid the evaporation of the water from the ground level. So paddy straw is used in the initial stages on a one-time basis to prevent evaporation of water from the soil. And sticks are, the plants are tied to the vertical sticks for that sapling to grow straight. This is only for some time. Beyond that, we can remove everything and the tree saplings will grow faster beyond that. I will show you some pictures of all of you can see this. This is the multi-layer dense forest in the Westland. So this was inaugurated on 5/8/2016. And in 3 years' time, you can see the bottom right-hand side picture, how dense it has grown. Hope all of you can see this picture. Okay, this is a close-up picture of the same thing. This is the picture taken after 1 year. This is a close-up picture. It has 30 native species of plants inside. And the concept what we adopted is 1 sapling per square meter. So I will take you to what has happened in the Eastland. We planted around 1,347 saplings in 400 square meters. So this is how it was looking in the initial stages after planting. This was in the year 2016. Now I'm moving to the next slide. In the bottom, you can see how it is now. So the past and the present pictures are given here. Now it has become dense. So this is over a period of around 4 years. In the years to come, it will become much more dense. This is a close-up picture of the dense forest developed in the, this is a model which I have developed in the Eastland. Okay, okay. So with this, I will conclude. I will extend all necessary support for those who are really interested. Please contact me through Gauri Shankar. Please contact the plant engineering department at Ennore. This is a social cause and we are ready to support whoever is really interested in this. Thank you, all of you. Over to Gauri.
Thank you, sir. It was an excellent presentation and excellent explanation of the concept. So thank you very much. I could see many chats. I don't know whether they are getting recorded. So we will, if possible, send all the chats to you also. Thank you. Have a nice time.
Thank you.
Friends, now it is my privilege to introduce the next speaker, Mr. V.K. Venkatramani. He is fondly called as ISO VKV. When I approached him about giving a speech in our meet, he changed his schedule and agreed to give the title Happiness Unlimited for his speech. Let us see what Sir has in store for all of us. His hat has a lot of feathers like BCom, MA, HRM, MBA, PGDMM, PGDBA, CAIIB. Well, he is well learned. He has over 4 decades of bank experience, mainly in Canara Bank. He is a certified lead auditor in many ISO standards. He is an accomplished corporate trainer in quality management and behavioral modification performance enhancement areas. He has clocked more than 10,000 hours in conduction of teaching training programs to multiple levels of organization in trade and industry. He is also an accomplished public speaker and orator of repute and standing for many years. He has a unique reputation of enabling solutions to achieve their business goals continue over years. A few of his accomplishments. Messrs. Surana and Surana, the first law firm in Asia to get ISO 9001 certification. Saubhagya, the first milk grinder manufacturer to get ISO 9001 certification. And Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, first university to get ISO certification in India. Currently, he is CEO across World Quality International, Chennai. Over to Mr. VKV, sir.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, we can, sir. Yes, sir. You can.
Yeah. Shall I continue? Yes. Fine.
Sir, please continue, sir. Others are on mute. So you.
God bless you. Thank you. Ananya Santayanto Mam Ejana Paripasate Tesham Nitya Viktanam Yogatshemam Vahamyaham. Today's program, when Gauri Shankar talked to me, is going to be with the past and present people from Leyland. I thought it fit to have a topic of everybody's choice. All of us want to be happy. And can there be an unlimited happiness or limited happiness? This is what we are going to talk about. I shall dwell into the glimpses of how to be happy, how to make others happy, how to be happy always. Normally, நம்ம எல்லாரும் என்ன பண்றோம் தமிழ்ல பேசலாமா கொஞ்சம் பேசலாம் ஓகே ஓகே நம்ம எல்லாரும் என்ன பண்றோம்னா சந்தோஷமா இருக்குன்னு நினைச்சிட்டு துக்கப்படுத்தின்னு உட்கார்ந்துருக்கோம். All of us become happy if something happens, then only we are happy. We look at an external stimuli to be happy. ஏதாவது நடந்தால் நான் சந்தோஷமாக இருப்பேன். என் மகனுக்கு அட்மிஷன் கிடைச்சா சந்தோஷமா இருப்பேன். என் பொண்ணு கல்யாணம் நடந்தா சந்தோஷமா இருப்பேன், என் பேரன் குட் மார்க்ஸ் வாங்கினா சந்தோஷமா இருப்பேன், CGPA ranking வாங்கினா சந்தோஷமா இருப்பேன். If I buy a Benz car, I will be happy, or if I buy a car, I will be happy. If I get a professional advancement, I will be happy. That means you put the if there, you are postponing your happiness to the time you are going to achieve that. There's a beautiful story of a person who wanted to buy a Benz car. 72 lakhs ரூபாய் வேணும் அவனுக்கு. He decides I will be happy only if I have a Benz car. Simple. He toys for 5 years. 5 வருஷம் வேலை செய்யறான். எல்லாம் முடிஞ்சு 5 வருஷம் கழிச்சு பணத்தை எடுத்துன்னு போறான், பென்ஸ் காரையும் வாங்குறான். பொண்டாட்டி பிள்ளைகளோட he is going to Bangalore. His father-in-law said he is useless fellow. He wanted to prove he is a useful fellow. நேரா பெங்களூர் போற ஹைவேல போகும்போது பசிக்குது பசங்களுக்கு, எங்கேயாவது இடத்துல சாப்பிடலாமே, we stop and eat in a good restaurant. ஏடிபியில் உள்ள போறான், சாப்பிட போறான். Driver was driving the car. Excellent food. He comes out. He sees a scratch on the right side of the car, Benz car. 40,000 rupees out. He became very sad. What he said was, I will be happy if I buy a Benz car. Benz car is there. Nothing has happened to the car. He can still drive it. But the apparent conditioning he puts it, if I get it, I will be happy. He has postponed his happiness. Even that happiness is gone today. It's like a person getting into a train with a basket, heavy basket. He gets into the train and sits in the seat. He was having the basket on his head. People ask him, why are you having the basket on your head? தலைமையில ஏன் சுமையை வச்சுருக்கேன்னா, இல்லை நான் சுமக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டேன், அப்படிதான் இருக்கும் அப்படின்றான். We are always having a stress, burdens of life, pressures of life, pains of life, but we forget with all these things we can still be happy. So if you look at an external stimuli to be happy, you can never be happy at all. So how to choose happiness? It is for you to choose to be happy or unhappy. Nothing external can affect me. If you decide that, simple. It's a choice that you have to make. Do not expect an external stimuli. From objects, relationships, friends, peers, children, don't expect happiness. 2 பேர் எதிர் வீடு, 2 பசங்க நல்லா படிக்கிறாங்க, அமெரிக்கா போறாங்க. படிக்க வச்சு அமெரிக்கா போன பிறகு என்ன ஆகுது, அந்த பசங்க திரும்பி வர அமெரிக்காலேருந்து வராங்க. ஒரு பையன் அவங்க அப்பாவுக்கு ஒரு ஷேவர், எலக்ட்ரிக் ஷேவர் வாங்கிட்டு வரான், நல்ல சாக்லேட்ஸ் வாங்கிட்டு வரான். இன்னொரு பையன் ஒன்றுமே வாங்கிட்டு வரல. 2 பேரும் திரும்பி போயிடுறாங்க, ஊருக்கு அமெரிக்காவுக்கு போயிடுறாங்க. பசங்க 2 பேரும் போயிடுறாங்க. அப்பா 2 பேரும் பார்க்கில் உட்காந்து பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. They're talking in the park. என் பையன் அதெல்லாம் வாங்கிட்டு தான் சொல்றா. இன்னொரு அப்பாவுக்கு வருத்தம் ஆயிடுது. நான் கூட தான் என் பையன் நல்லா வளர்த்தேன். I have taken more pains than what you have done to get him admitted into best of schools. And I have given him all my money for his education, but he has not cared to buy me something like your son has bought. That means we are bringing up children only for giving you some shirt, t-shirt, chocolates and some shaver. The amount that you have spent, the pains you have done is much more than that. அதான் பிரச்சனை. அப்போ எக்ஸ்டர்னல் ஸ்டிமுலி இருந்தாலும் நீங்க ஹாப்பியா இருப்பீங்களா? இதுதான் தப்பு. There was one 70-year-old lady. Her husband was 90-year-old. 90 வயசு அந்த அம்மாக்கு, அவருக்கு செத்து போறாரு. அந்த அம்மாக்கு வேற இடத்துல போறதுக்கு இடம் இல்லை. She goes to a hospice or a old age home. There in a corner, small dungeon type of room was given to her. This lady has got a habit of making her herself. நல்லா ட்ரெஸ் பண்ணிப்பாங்க, அழகா போவாங்க, அங்க போறாங்க. I am very happy you have given me this place. The doctor says and the caretaker says, the place is not that good as you think, as your house is. It's only an ordinary place. She says very clearly, the place is not the criteria for me to be happy. I got some pains in my body. I am not worried about it. If I start worrying about it, I will live only worrying and dying. Happiness is unlimited, but life is limited. Lifespan is limited. What she says is, I can be happy there, thinking all the 98 other organs working properly for me, where I can go to my toilet myself, I can eat myself, I can be happy. My diabetes has got no relationship with my unhappiness. So how to be happy? I'll give you 10 commandments. If you practice it in your personal life, இதை மட்டும் practice பண்ணாக்க கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம்தான். Whatever I say is not only preaching, I am practicing many things in my life. I am not a preacher mentor, I am a practicing mentor. So 10 commandments. The first commandment என்னன்னாக்க, if you give it up, all the 10 commandments says, you give up this, give up this, give up this, give up this. இதை விட்டுடுங்க, இதை விட்டுட்டா நீங்க நல்லா இருப்பீங்க. If you change yourself to this, it's difficult, but if you do that, you will be happiest person. Give up the need to be always right. இது ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனை. வாட்ஸ்அப்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா எவனா ஒருத்த மெசேஜ் அனுப்புவான், அதை கவுண்டர் பண்ணி அனுப்புவான். Then there will be a fight. What happens between two friends who are lived together for 40 years? That fellow goes on the WhatsApp. Next, what is happening? They become enemies after 40 years of friendship. We always think that you should be right. Your wife is wrong. You should be right. Your son should be wrong. Why you want to be right at all times? At a certain stage of life, you need not be right also. The other person can be more right than what you are. So give up the need to always be right. The second one problem with human beings, including me, is we don't want somebody to control us. We want to control ourselves. You subject yourself to be controlled by somebody else. Today, Gauri Shankar is conducting the program. He's controlling me. I'm happy about it because somebody takes charge. You be happy about it. But we don't want to do that. Even after retirement, we want to control the home. We want people to ask you and then decide. You want people to ask you and then cook. That means you want to have control. The moment you decide you don't want to have the control, you'll be more happy. So give up the need to control things in life. The third one is blaming. Blaming game. You blame everybody else for your unhappiness. Because of him only I am unhappy. Because my wife has said this, I am unhappy. Because my sambandhi has said something, I am unhappy. ஏதாவது காரணத்தை வைத்துக்கொண்டு நாம் சந்தோஷத்தை இழக்கின்றோம். We blame others, but you stop blaming game, then you'll be more happier. The fourth one point, give up complaints and criticisms. I got Vardarajan, Saubhagya Vardarajan, a good friend of mine. One day he was having 103 fever. I was about to go and see him. Not now, not in COVID time, before that. Sir, how are you, sir? I asked him, shall I come and meet you? No, how are you, sir? Fine, first class. You ask him anytime, how are you? He say, they give the same word. First class, superb, wonderful. அப்போ அந்த கம்ப்ளைண்ட் சொல்ல 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 என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா உங்க மனசுக்குள்ள அது போய் பதிஞ்சுக்குது, உள்ள உட்காந்துக்குது. It gets reinforced and see that somebody is wrong, he is wrong, he is wrong, somebody is wrong. The complaints and criticisms are not going to help you to be happy at all. So give up complaining and criticizing people. He doesn't know anything, don't worry. If he doesn't know anything, be that. The next one is give up the need to impress others. I need not impress somebody. I can wear any dress and impress all of you. What is the use of it? At certain stage, dress has got no relevance. Your physical appearance has got no relevance. We always want to impress somebody. In the process, you are getting stress and strain on you. So you need not impress anybody. So give up the need to impress others. The sixth point is, give up the resistance to change. We say, I do not know, I know this, I do not know, I know this, I don't know how to operate a Zoom, I don't know how to operate a cell phone. All this we say to ourselves, say that, we deny that, we are resisting to change. If somebody takes charge, your son is grown up, he's married, he's got a child, he can control the house. Why you leave it to him? Why you don't leave it to him? We don't leave it. நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்? நம்ம கையிலேயே பிடிப்பு வச்சுக்கிறோம். அப்ப சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிக்க நம்ம மற்றவர் அனைவரையும் மாற்றத்துக்கு உட்படுத்த வேண்டும் என்று நினைக்கின்றோம். நாம் மாறுவதற்கு மறுக்கின்றோம். We want everybody else to change, but we refuse to change. This is the problem with people, and they are become unhappy. And the next point, seventh point is give the need, a desire or urge to know things. வீட்டில் கல்யாணம் ஆயிடுச்சு, பொண்ணு மாப்பிள்ளையும் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அப்பாவுக்கும் பிரச்சனை, அம்மாவுக்கும் பிரச்சனை. அப்பாவுக்கு என்ன பேசுறாங்கன்னு பிரச்சனை, அம்மாவுக்கு அவங்கள பத்தி பேசுறாங்களான்னு பிரச்சனை. Many a time they talk something, they want to go to a movie, they want to go to something. Their husband and wife, they got a privacy. But we want to know everything. What is happening in the third corner of your factory? You may not know at all. You are oblivious of what is happening in your own shop floor, but you want to know what is happening in the third floor, third shop floor, or a paint shop. What is the reason? You need not know anything. Please understand, we need not be more knowledgeable than what is required for your day-to-day operations. Ignorance is bliss. The next one is, give the past, live the present. The past was once a present for all of us. Your college days, school days. நீங்க இன்னொரு காலேஜ், லேடிஸ் காலேஜ் போய் பார்த்து எல்லாமே பாஸ்ட் தான். ஆனா அது பிரசன்ட் ஒரு காலத்துல இருந்துச்சு. But we always say my past was good, my present is not good. After 10 years we'll say today's present will be good, was good. It was past for me. So give up the past, live the present. Carpe diem and carpe momentum. Seize the day and seize the moment. வள்ளுவன் மிக அழகாக சொல்லுகின்றான், மிக அழகான ஒரு குறள். உறங்குவது போலும் சாக்காடு, பின்னர் விழித்தெழுவது போலும் பிறப்பு. உறங்குவது போலும் சாக்காடு, அதாவது சாவு என்பது என்ன என்று கேட்கின்றார் திருவள்ளுவரை. அவர் சொல்லுகின்றார், உறங்குவது போலும் சாக்கு, நைட்டு தூங்குறது தான் இறப்பு, பின்னர் விழித்தெழுவது போலும் பிறப்பு. காலையில் எழுந்துக்கிறோம். Every day is a bliss for us, blessing for us. By God, you are bestowed upon the best faculties in brain. You should be happy, but we forget that that day is a boon for everybody in today's circumstances. COVID is much more than that. So, give the past, live the present. Carpe diem, carpe momentum. Seize the day. I don't waste a single minute of mine, single second of it. If you go in the car, I chant one side. The other side, I also sing old songs. Along with somebody singing, TMS may be singing, Chidambaram Jaran may be singing. Why not take up some hobby like that? Make yourself happy. That is, living the present is more important. Next one is give up living to others' expectations. மற்றவர்கள் எதிர்பார்ப்புக்காக நீங்க வாழ ஆரம்பித்தால் வாழ்க்கை நாசமாகிவிடும். அவன் என்னை இப்படி எதிர்பார்க்கிறான், இப்படித்தான் இருக்க வேண்டும் என்று எதிர்பார்க்கிறான் நினைக்க ஆரம்பித்து விட்டால் வாழ்க்கை நாசமாயிடும். You will not live to others' expectations at all. You live to your own expectations first. Your expectation is only one, that is to be happy. That decision, if you take it, you need not worry about what others think about me in a marriage. I went to a marriage, somebody has not cared to look after me. Nobody has asked me to go and take food. Who are you? You are an adult. You can go and search for your food and take the food in the reception area or the dining hall. Who prevented you? We expect everybody to attend on you. Unfortunately, that need not be. That is another expectation for us. We have got an ego. All of us have got ego. Somebody should recognize me. I should be something. I should be a person who is always eulogized. Why people should eulogize you? You need not be a leader always. Probably some of your friends know that I have occupied the best of platforms in the world. For the past 12 years, I don't want to go to a platform and speak at all. Even today is an exception today. Annikar asked me so many times to talk. So then last one, give up attachment. Most difficult thing is giving up attachment. எல்லாராலும் முடியாத விஷயம் என்னுடைய அட்டாச்மெண்ட்டை நான் இதிலிருந்து விடுபட முடியாது. என்னுடைய அட்டாச்மெண்ட்ல நான் விடுபட முடியாது. ரொம்ப பிரச்சனை. என்ன அட்டாச்மெண்ட்? வீடு அட்டாச்மெண்ட், பொருள் அட்டாச்மெண்ட், காட் அட்டாச்மெண்ட், என்னுடைய பழைய ட்ரங்க் பட்டி அட்டாச்மெண்ட், மக்கள், வீடு, மனை, மக்கள் அனைத்தும் அட்டாச்மெண்ட் தான் நம்மளுக்கு வேண்டாம். அந்த அட்டாச்மெண்ட் விட்டாக்க you will be happy. So to summarize, to give up the need to always be right, give up the need to control, give up the blaming game, give up complaints, give up the need to impress others, give up resistance to change, give up need to know everything, give up the past and live the present, give up living to others' expectations, give up attachment, you will be happy. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you. Questions you can ask. Anybody ask questions? I am prepared to answer questions.
We'll have the questions after Shesha is addressed.
Yeah, please.
Hi, everybody. Great seeing all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Great seeing all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Nice
Lots
seeing
of
you, sir.
Very good friends. I'm back again with my old days in my mind. It's a tremendous pleasure seeing all of you. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. Hope your family is good.
Yeah.
Good evening, all of you. Mr. Shesh has already started addressing all of us. I don't think he requires any introduction to all the Leylanders. Over to Shesha Isa.
Thank you. It's again, I must say, it's such a great pleasure getting back to the company of all my old friends and colleagues. In fact, I didn't know that you had a group like this, and I didn't know why you didn't invite me earlier to be a part of this group, but I'd love to be part of this group. Actually, I came to know that you all had a network just a couple of weeks ago when the Bangalore-based executives called me to talk to them. And that's when I realized that you had a similar kind of a network functioning there in Bangalore as well. I hope that you both these groups interact with each other. I don't know how many of you were in the group that I spoke to a couple of weeks ago, perhaps none. So I'm going to continue the wonderful talk that I heard from Venkatramani. I just logged in at the time that you're saying ignorance is bliss. So that I think all of us will agree that is very correct. Ignorance is bliss. But in the process, I also wanted to share with you what my learnings have been after I stepped down from Ashok Leyland. And in fact, I was very interested to see that quite a few of what Mr. Venkatramani was saying in the last few minutes reverberate with me in terms of my own experience and my own learning. But I won't go to that such a detailed list of 9 or 10 items. I will just look at 3 significant learnings that I've had. As all of you know, when I stepped down as Executive Vice Chairman in 2013, I also immediately thereafter took up the job as Executive Vice Chairman of the Hinduja Group. What it entailed was that every Monday morning, I had to get up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning and take a flight to Mumbai and come back on Thursday night. And that was the kind of a drill that I was going through for some months. And then one day when I was in a flight, I was saying to myself, is this the way that I want to lead my life? I was really not enjoying what I was doing. And then I also then started putting down in a piece of paper what I thought I enjoyed most in my career in Ashok Leyland. And when I started thinking about what gave me joy, what gave me happiness in the work that I was doing in AL, one trend became very clear. And that trend was that whenever I was learning something new, that gave me extreme joy. Right at the beginning of my career, when way back in '76, when I joined Ashok Leyland, as I'm sure most of you know, I joined as an internal auditor, and I had this wonderful colleague. I don't know how many of you remember or know of him, a person called Yakundi, Suresh Yakundi, who used to be the manager in industrial engineering. And at that time, within a few months after I joined, I found that nobody was giving me any attention because the entire factory at Ennore was all obsessed with this problem in the heat treatment shop because of the holding of production. And that is because we had just installed a continuous gas carburizing furnace. I tried to meet the managing director at the time, Holsworth, but he wouldn't have any time for me. But all the time in the lunchroom, everybody was talking about the CGCF. And I got curious to say, what is the CGCF? And then I went to Yakundi and asked him, what is this about CGCF that is becoming such a big obsession in this company? And he then said that, I'll come and take you to the shop floor and show you what it is. And then the few months thereafter, Suresh and I worked on that particular problem, and I learned a lot. I learned what heat treatment was all about. I was an accountant by profession and had no clue what heat treatment shop was, but I learned. And I must thank Suresh for teaching me all that he did. So that stayed in my mind as one of the most joyous moments when I learned about something which I had not learned earlier, which is something new to me. And so there were a series of things in the career where I found that the trend showed that every time I said I did something new, there was a learning that gave me joy. And I'm sure that that's the experience that most of you also have. If you look back and then say, where did you have your sense of elation? That must be a moment when you applied your knowledge, your newly acquired knowledge to solve a problem or do something different, which had an impact. That's what you count as the most joyful moment. I don't think at this stage in our life, we would say that getting a promotion or a designation or any of that would have meant much. But this is truly, at least to me, I found that as the most joyful thing. Therefore, curiosity is clearly the one that one has to keep as a spirit, the spirit of inquiry, spirit of curiosity to understand the world around us, to learn new things. That, to my mind, is one very, very important thing that post-retirement we have to continue to do. As children, we are all very curious. We've been very curious. We see our grandchildren being very curious. But the curiosity gets lost as we become adults. And then somehow for most of us, we give up learning after we retire. I heard Venkatamani saying that, you have a laptop or you have a cell phone which is malfunctioning. It's not often that we want to learn to say how to fix that. We immediately call our grandson or somebody to come and fix that because he's more adept at that. So that curiosity is, to my mind, something which is necessary as physical exercise. Most of us know that we have to be exercising physically in order to keep fit, but we also need to exercise mentally, in my view, because if we don't think, if we're not learning, then the neural networks that we have, and if they don't get fired, we tend to get our brains degenerate very fast. And again, I find that there have been many, many inspiring instances of people who have done new things, even late in their life. I don't know how many of you keep track of electric batteries technology. There is a guy called Professor Goodenough. Professor Goodenough won the Nobel Prize last year. I've been tracking Professor Goodenough. He's a professor in mechanical engineering in Texas University in Austin. I've been tracking him because he was a guy who invented the lithium-ion, or at least contributed to the invention of lithium-ion battery in a big way. He got his Nobel Prize last year, and he was 97. 97. Not because that he had done some work in his 30s or 40s or 50s for which he was being recognized very late. he actually was doing work even then. In fact, post this Nobel laureate announcement, he and his colleagues announced a breakthrough technology in lithium-ion, which is solid state glass battery, which for a very long time nobody thought was going to be possible. But he has now announced that, and that can make a revolutionary change in the electric vehicle battery technology going forward. So there are such instances, and I think that's the biggest learning that I would say I want to pass on to you. Fortunately for me, I did not have to continue to be in the executive position. I became a non-executive vice chairman, and also at that time I had the opportunity of being on the board of Infosys and then also Cisco, one a software company, another a hardware company. And the kind of, again, the opportunity for learning something new in the digital world, particularly in the cybersecurity, in the network, that was very exciting to me. And I think it validated my theory that continuous learning, regardless of whether you're at work or not at work, continuously through your life, that I think is the most important lesson that I have learned. The second thing is that, again, during my journeys to Mumbai every week, I was watching people around me. First of all, I found that I was the oldest guy going to office like that, and I said, this is not correct. So the bunch of guys who were not office goers or not who was professionals, but were creative people. I'm fortunate to have a very large circle of friends in the creative world, like authors, dancers, musicians, and so on. And I often found that when I interacted with them, they were very, very young in their mind. So it's set apart as a group that creative people appear to be more joyful, younger in mind than the ones who were, after a hard day's work, were returning late in the night in the flight. There was this marked difference. So I think creativity is something which I also thought would probably gives the right kind of excitement and fulfillment in life. So I started writing. I used to do some indifferent fiction writing in Tamil about 50 years ago. And then I suddenly picked up and said, let me start again. And then the last few months, I've been writing fiction. I also finished a book, which is now not in Tamil, but in English, which is again, I don't know what I would call it, fiction or non-fiction. That's gone to the publisher. And I found during this entire exercise of writing that there was a sense of rejuvenation, that you're doing something creative. This need not have to be all the time something of like writing or music or whatever. It could be things like cooking, it could be gardening. But I think to keep the creative aspect alive, if you look back and then say, what is it that gave you joy? It is not only the curiosity and the learning, but also that you were creative in finding a solution to apply that knowledge to do something which can solve a problem. So it is that part that you're able to do something creative, something which has not been attempted by you earlier. That, to my mind, was very fulfilling. And I have no doubt that people who have done similar things will also endorse what I'm saying. So that's the second part. The third part is that while we all think that we have retired, truly speaking, on a Friday evening, all of us were valuable to our institutions, right? We had the knowledge, we had the experience, we were capable of guiding people, taking decisions. And then we retire on Friday night. And then on Monday morning, how can we say that all that is completely lost? That's been completely shelved, and there's nothing to do. In fact, there is plenty to be done because the community that we live in, the society that we live in, the nation that we live in, have so many problems. Whether you look at education or health or challenged people, disadvantaged communities, there is so much of a problem in the community around us, all of whom are looking for some kind of contribution in terms of labor or management, not all the time in money. Money ultimately, even if you say that you give money, ultimately money goes and buys a skill. That money is used to buy a health worker, or it is going to buy a doctor, it is going to buy a teacher. It's used for the purpose of human skills. And if you do possess those skills, why would we not give this to the society? Why would we not share this with the community? And in doing so, there is a joy, there is happiness in sharing what you have managed to earn during your lifetime in terms of talent and experience. And all of you here have a variety of talent, variety of experience and knowledge, all of which in some form or shape can be used by the society. I therefore threw myself at some institution building. In fact, I again feel that in many areas we need to build new institutions, because every new institution that we start, if we can build a new benchmark in terms of excellence, whether we're doing a school or whether we're doing a health facility or running a camp, if we can say that I'm going to now set a new benchmark and be therefore an example for others to emulate, then I think the joy of making that happen and getting people to get inspired to do similar things, that I think is tremendous. So the last few years, I threw myself again at institution building, because one thing that I learned in my life in Ashok Leyland and elsewhere is that it takes a lot of effort to build institutions. It takes a lot of collaborative effort to build institutions. And directly or indirectly, I've had the experience and privilege of building more than almost a dozen institutions, new companies or the new organizations. And that experience, I didn't want that to go waste. So we started a university 2 years ago. It's called Kriya University. I don't know how many of you have heard about that. That hopefully is setting a new benchmark in terms of liberal arts learning. We have amongst the best brains in our academic council, amongst the best brains in our governing council, and I can tell you, every time that I interact with them, there is so much of new learning. There's so much of excitement in building this new institution. It's incredible. I also have a similar kind of experience doing work on primary education. We are now working with the 40,000 schools, which are government schools. In this pandemic, they are in very, very difficult position. Not more than 15% of the children in the first 5 grades have access to feature phones, let alone smartphones. And so the government has asked us now to develop curriculum, to develop technology-based solutions to be delivered on televisions and telephones, which we are working on through one of the NGOs that I work with. And there are plenty of such opportunities for all of you to be involved in. And I'm sure that most of you are doing something very similar. And I know that you will endorse my view that this is the kind of thing that really gives you a sense of fulfillment. So let me stop you by saying again, it's the curiosity, it is the creativity, it is the community and institution building that, to my mind, are the right kind of sources of joy. I would urge that all of you who are not already doing something similar to what I'm saying and sharing the kind of joy that I'm talking about, I'm sure all of you would give some serious thought to this. I'd be delighted to be of any help or even engage any of you to do the kind of work that I'm involved in. We need a lot of people. This morning, just to give an example, this morning I was doing a meeting with the Cancer Institute. There we have a lot of voluntary people working in the Cancer Institute. We need people not to come and work there, but to do planning at home and to develop various models that we need for the new kind of challenges that they're facing, managerial inputs. By the way, there is one organization that I'm associated with, which was started by one of Leyland people, Prabhakar. I'm sure that most of you would know. Jay Prabhakar used to be in the assembly shop in Ennore. He was an artist and he has started this, what is called Enangal in Sangamam. It's called NDSO. So that organization is doing a great job in terms of providing free meals, nutritious meals to children who are not able to go to school and get the midday meals. There are 60,000 of them, and we're doing our best to do what we can. We also have this working along with corporation now. But that's, by the way, that organization is like a CIA of NGOs. It's got nearly 1,300 NGOs in Tamil Nadu. Very, very small organizations, micro organizations will do tremendous work on a variety of things. And they all come together in this wonderful platform. I'm mentioning this because we must be proud that it is Prabhakar who was part of Ashok Leyland, who has been the founder. And so any of you wanting to be a part of this, most welcome. I'm sure JP would be delighted to receive support from you. So let me stop there and say that's my learning. I'm happy to again meet all of you, share this joy with all of you. I look forward to being engaged with you. Thank you very much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to reconnect.
Sir, please stay for a couple of minutes for some question and answer.
Sure.
Those who want to speak, please unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
So next 5 minutes, we will have some interaction with the Leylanders.
Hi, Sesh. Nagarajan here. I think you muted. You muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. See, I think you must, I think you just joined now. There was a presentation by KV Natarajan, who looks after the Ennore plant. And he's done a wonderful job, Sesh, of greenery in the Ennore plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether you've seen it or not.
Yeah, I have.
It's really fantastic. He's done a wonderful job. And, you know, sort of, it's not only made Ennore look much better, but at the same time, I think, you know, whatever has been done, I think it's something great as far as Natarajan is concerned. Sesh, I think sort of, I was there when you were sort of addressing the Hosur Leylanders. I think you got to tell, you know, the friends today, there are more than 100 Sesh at the moment. You really got to tell them as to certain other benefits they can look in terms of when they do social work and what they can really reap out of social work. I'm sure most of them must be doing it. But you did mention quite a bit in Hosur. So why don't you add a little more to say what they can do and how they can get organized?
Yeah, three things. One is if you're doing something already, that's great. I don't think you should give up what you're doing. But if you think that you've got more time than what you're presently giving to the community work that you're doing, my suggestion is that you all get together, because when one person does something, it has got a certain limitation in terms of scalability. But if 100 people, those who have assembled here, if 100 people join together, the synergy of that is not really, it's not 100, but it's 300, it's 500. And therefore, I think it is important that you explore the possibility of all of you coming together, and I will be a part of that to say what is it that you want to be doing. For Hosur Nagaraj, incidentally, I connected them to my friend Jayaraman in Bangalore, who is a Rotarian, and he has been doing a lot of very good work in a variety of ways. He has had, I think, the first discussion with Vasu. I don't know what the outcome has been, but I'm sure that Jayaraman or Vasu will talk to me. I'm happy to initiate a similar kind of thing with this group, depending on what you all want to do. We can say that here are the 3 things that you want to do, you might want to do, and then you can come together and say, yes, I want to be a part of this institution building, or want to do something different to support an existing institution. So I think let's take this to next logical step, and I leave that to you to think about this. Let me know, and I'm ready. The second point I'd like to say is that, you know, when you get together to do something, it is important that the rigor of the management process that you've all been through and what you have done in your career, in your life, that is not lowered. You must take this as seriously as you would take a career. You know, again, I'm not saying that what I'm doing is the best way of doing it, but if I'm involved in 5 institutions, I make it a point to allot time for each of this each week, so that there is a certain rigor on myself. I don't do this as a pastime. When I have some time, when I have some inclination, when I feel interested, I'll do it. I think you have to take it seriously. You must be sure that you have the inclination to do it seriously and throw yourself at it. And I can assure you that once you see these things grow up, you will get tremendous satisfaction. So it's the seriousness of purpose that is important. The third is that you know, you don't necessarily have to look at the large resources, raising lot of money for doing. Again, my experience, I mean, I will tell you just the Kriya experience. The Kriya's university is something that requires 750 crores. And when 3 of us met together, and we said that, yes, I mean, we need now a university for higher learning, which is setting a new benchmark in terms of 21st century learning, not Harvard, not Yale, but something which is completely clean sheet approach and then set the best benchmark. We were all excited by just that the thought of building a new institution of higher learning. We didn't know where we were going to get the 750 crores. But believe me, today that is pretty much in line of sight. Because the idea was so powerful that we got Sajjan Jindal and Anand Mahindra and Uday Kotak and all of them on our governing council. And the only thing that we did was to say, here is this idea. Here is what we want to be doing. And so support came. Support will come. And it's not at the Kriya University level. Even at I mean, for example, JP, I'm just talking about JP's NDSO. I think it was about 2 months ago that he put out this request to say that we need to be feeding these people, and we need 15,000 rupees, sorry, 50,000 rupees per day for meeting the expenses. And people from who haven't heard about this outfit, people who are not connected, came forward and gave money. And so today we are able to do substantial work. So I'm not so overawed by this problem of money. Of course, we need to go about this in a very deliberate way, but it can be done.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So really inspirational speech by you. We will wait for a couple of minutes.
Shall I put in a word, sir, or close?
Yeah, if there are no comments, it's fine. Yeah.
It's a wonderful erudition and then enlightenment on the second part of this today's program. I would say that what Sesha sir said was, I said what to give up. He said what to acquire. Acquire creativity, acquire intelligence, do something new, do something to society, give back to the society. All these things are the second part of my program. He has wonderfully done up there. And this is what is expected of everyone. I am also 72. I am touching 72. I am not young. I'm equally old as you people are. But I get up before 30 as sir does and end by 11:30. In the process, how much of contribution leave back? Tomorrow is not ours. Tomorrow is that kind. So please understand, wonderful way, sir. I am happy that I could have your enlightened speech. And I got a lot of points from you for which I can use it professionally elsewhere also. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So it's been such a pleasure interacting with all of you, seeing all of you. I see all of you in the participants' profiles, and hoping to be in touch with individually. So all the best to you, and stay safe. It's very important you stay safe because this is a very treacherous virus, and no amount of caution is too much. So stay safe. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tesh.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now we'll have some few questions for Mr. Natarajan sir and Venkatramani sir. Or you can always ask me their contact details and I can share with you. Anything else to...
No, Gauri,
yes,
I'd like to say both did extremely well, Natarajan and Venkatramani in their own field. In fact, as far as Natarajan is concerned, he's done a wonderful job, and I'm sure I will get in touch with Natarajan so that, you know, certain schools and various other things we are looking after, we can do it. In fact, I help Mr. Seshai a little bit, so we can certainly work on it, and we can get Mr. Natarajan organized. Similarly, I think with Venkatramani, there's a hell of a lot of motivation, which not only you can give to the elder society, but even to younger children. And certainly, I think, you know, we will certainly make use of you, Venkatramani. So both of you have done very well, and certainly, you know, we'll make use of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nagarajan sir, Muriyasupadian Osur.
Sorry?
Muriyasupadian from Osur.
Yes.
Sir, okay, nice to see you, sir.
I know. Nice to see all of you all as well.
Yes, sir.
Right, Gauri, is it over?
Yeah, I think it's time for us to close the meeting. I hand over to Mr. R. Rajagopal for the vote of thanks, a formal one.
Yes. Thank you, Gauri.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a thought-provoking evening this has been. Although today's world has been both consciously and unconsciously first drifted and then now shifted to the close to complete a virtual mode. I am more than happy to be a minuscule part of this evening, which is undoubtedly real, R-E-A-L, in all its A-double-L, its essence. No duty is deemed more urgent than that of thanking, because gratitude is the greatest of all the virtues. And so I consider it my privilege to propose a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Zoom platform, but for which this undisrupted session would not have been possible at all. A few months before, we were not so okay with this new technology, but today things are different. I'm sure all of you would agree with me. So here I would say with pride that REAL, R-E-A-L, is being again real, ready to embrace any learning experiences. Invoking the blessing of the Almighty is something that is the need of the hour today. And this was perfectly and soulfully accomplished by today's TMS, Mr. TMR, TM Ravichandran. Thank you, sir. You did migrate us to a blissful world with your rendition. To be welcomed wholeheartedly is the important at all walks of life. Mr. CVG's welcome address had that adequate warmth and personal touch. Mr. CVG did the job of CMG while well fueling the session. Thank you, CVG, for making us feel so wanted and warm. I am really awestruck with Mr. Natarajan's experience that he shared with us today. In fact, I have more to say on this because I was also part of creating greenery in Yanur, right? I am more interested. So my first subject, right? All I know was that Akira Miyawaki is a Japanese botanist who is an expert in plant ecology, and that he has stamped his presence in the restoration of natural vegetation on degraded land. This is all means is the order of the day. Japanese are undoubtedly the trendsetters, and we need to learn a lot from them. After the 5 years principles, Miyawaki's study on restoring Earth's balance is really catching up fast. I think now it has become a everywhere it is spread. I think recently in Trichy also, the corporation has taken up Miyawaki forest. I thank you, Mr. Kavian, for that insightful talk. Motivation. What a word of strength it has, and what a word of strength it has. Whether it is tiny task of nurturing a plant or an astronomical task of getting work done in the Leyland's assembly plant. Every ounce of work revolves around motivation. Motivation either from within or from outside. Today, Mr. VKV has infused us with this motivation, and I am sure all of our inner happiness has been de-dusted and rejuvenated, and now I am sure our happiness quotient is bountiful and unlimited. Thank you, sir. Looking forward for more such sessions of yours.
Thank you, Rajagopal.
Learning from one's experience is good enough, but learning from others' experience is the best. I sincerely request our first MD, Mr. Seshai, sir, you please don't stop writing with fiction alone. You please write an autobiography, because this will help the younger generation think wise and smart in their career prospects. Please do that, sir. Our thanks to Mr. Raghavan of NIPR, Treasurer, for all his helps in making this Zoom platform possible. And if I am failing in my duty to make mention of our friend K. Tyagarajan, who was the brain behind setting up this WhatsApp group and initiating such get-togethers. Thank you very much, KTR. Thanks to the real core group members for their valuable suggestions and inputs. And finally, my heartfelt thanks to all the participants. I think today it touched about 102. 108. 108. Heartfelt thanks to all the participants of today's session for having proved yet another time real, REL again, is responsible set of eminent Ashok Leylanders. Thank you, one and all. Happy Onam for all my Malayali friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all, Rajagopal.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Sir.
Thank you, Gauri. Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all, and especially thank you
very much, sir. Thank you.
Very nice moments with all. Thank you all.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you.
CVG sir.
Hi, BVS.
CVG sir.
Hi.
Bye-bye.
CVG, sir. Hello. Sir, CVG, sir.
Thank you, Gauri. Gauri, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gauri sir, ನಾನು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಸೂಪರ್ ಸರ್.
Thank you.
Gauri, sir.
Okay, bye.
Can you hear me?
Kathini, please send me your mobile number. I will attach, include you in the WhatsApp group.
Okay sir, I am right away message பண்ணிடுறேன் sir.
Okay, you know my number, no?
இல்ல
If
உங்க நம்பர்
somebody
என்கிட்ட இல்ல
was
sir.
recorded, somebody was
98403.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார் நான் எழுதுறேன்.
Sorry, 98417.
Just sorry sir, ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
Yeah.
Sir, நீங்க அப்படியே chat box ல டைப் பண்ணிடுங்க சார். So it will not make any mistake.
98417 36477.
36477. Okay sir. நான் அனுப்புறேன் சார்.
Gauri, அந்த recorded message கொஞ்சம் அனுப்ப முடிஞ்சா மெயில் அனுப்புங்களேன்.
Oh yeah, I'll share it.
Gauri, I think you better share it with everyone.
Sir, I should.
Gauri, sir. RR, sir.
Hello,
Yeah.
Gauri.
Gauri, sir. RR, sir.
Yes, sir.
TMR.
Hey, can you share a recorded message?
Sir, I have one word to say.
Yes, TMS.
See, it was this first virtual meeting started with invocation of a song.
First virtual meeting?
Yeah, first virtual meeting started with an invocation song by me.
Yeah.
Company,
and at the end of it, you informed that 108 people have joined.
Yes.
How auspicious it is.
Yes.
How auspicious it is.
Yes. Nutiyata Ashtotram.
Gauri, sir, shall I retire, sir? Gauri,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
shall I take leave?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Sir, I shall be available for any one of your endeavors, free of cost, through Gauri Shankar, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Anytime, anything.
Very nice to see G. Soundarajan sir and Nair sir.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Very nice to see.
Yeah. Hey, Gauri, can you
Great
send
people.
a recorded message?
Thank you sir.
Sorry, sir.
Nice meet.
Okay sir, good night.
Thanks all.
Good night.
Ramarao, Ganesh Prabhakar,
நான் வந்தாதானே?
Srinivasan, Ramesh Babu sir.
Ravi. Here,
வராதா?
See.
Hey, Murali said he is joined, but I couldn't see his name. Murali.
Murali வந்து ஜாயின் பண்ணார் சார். நடுவுல போயிட்டார் சார்.
அதில போயிட்டாரா? Right.
இங்க இருக்கா இல்ல நம்ம ஃப்ரெண்ட் தான் ரவி.
Chokaya.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Ravi.
Okay, sir, I'm taking leave.
Yeah. Ravi, right, Ravi.
That's all.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Jayaprakash. He's not in assembly. He was in my department.
கேக்குதா?
virtual மீட்ல இருந்து வெளியில போ.
அவெல்லாம் என்கிட்ட
Hello, sir.
Manohar.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Manohar, this time I didn't come to Halway, so I couldn't meet you.
Always there is next time.
Next time, yeah.
Always there is next time.
Only last week I finished the audit on virtual mode.
Oh, good. Next time it will be real.
Yeah,
Come
next
down
week,
over here.
next time it will be real. Yeah.
கௌரி
Okay, Gauri. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
ரவி
Raghvan sir, thank you very much.
Thank you all. Stay safe. Stay home. Stay safe. All the
Stay
best.
safe. Stay home. Hello.
Only one request.
ரவிச்சந்திரன் கௌரி
Sir.
கௌரி
Gauri, can I make a small suggestion? Gauri, can I make a small suggestion?
Yes, Ravi, tell me.
Only thing is, when you start the meeting, after the invocation song, try to remember some of our, colleagues who have left us. Okay,
Yeah,
if it is
yeah.
possible.
Yes. You should have done it. Yes. You are right.
Need not mention the names, but we can just observe a minute silence. Okay.
Yeah, we missed out. We will take it for a future guidance. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Especially some have left because of COVID. So we should.
Narayan.
Thank you.
Gauri.
Thank you, Gauri.
Gauri, thanks, ba. Gauri, you have done a wonderful work.
Maradevan.
Yes.
How are you?
Hey, Ravi, saugiyama?
Gauri. Gauri. Yeah.
கௌரி என்ன 108 வடமாலை மாதிரி 108 பேரை சேர்த்துட்டேன். வெரி குட். சோ ஆஞ்சநேயர் உங்க கூட இருந்துட்டாரு.
ஆஞ்சநேயர் கூட நான் இருக்கேன்பா. கௌரி இப்ப நான் என்ன செய்யணும் போட்டிருந்தீங்க தான் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன்.
Thanks for all the arrangements, sir.
இது ரெக்கார்டிங்க.
Soundarajan sir, how are you?
க்ளோஸ் பண்ணா
Soundarajan sir.
கௌரி சங்கர்.
அப்படியா?
Fine. Thanks, Ravi.
கௌரி.
Great to see you.
I think you're covering the camera.
Okay, friends.
அந்த நம்பர்ல தான் வர சொல்றீங்களா?